Hey, I just thought I'd do this video, which is like a crazy video. Stuff guys try and get you to do. It's like you might be talking to a guy, it seems all great, seems all cool. And then he's like trying to like rush things and like love bomb you. And then he disappears. But before he disappears, he's trying to get you to give up your life, trying to get you to move across the country, put in your 30-day notice. Because I had this one guy in San Jose I was talking to. He seemed great. We were talking a few days. He was like, "Oh, I want you to come live with me. And I love my Dodge Charger. It would be great if you were here. We're just clicking so much. You should come move here and give up your place and everything." And then I talked to him like the next, like a few days later. And then he's like, "Oh, yeah, I don't think I'm ready for a relationship." And I mean, like, what do you mean you're not ready for a relationship? You just told me to give my place a 30 days notice and to quit my job and everything to move to be closer to you. And now you're saying you don't want to be in a relationship. If I listened to you, I would be homeless and unemployed. And then he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." And then there was another guy, because I was offered overtime for work, and I'm like, "No, I'm not going to take the overtime. This guy seems nice. I'll go hang out with him instead." And then he cancels on me. And I'm like, "What the fuck? You canceled on me and I made time for you. I just gave up a bunch of money to hang out with you." And then he's like, "Oh, that's fine. You have more time for yourself now." And I'm like, I looked past the fact that you said you had a place and you were renting out rooms and everything. And it was like, I knew you were broke. I accepted you for being broke. I was even nice about it. Because you're like, "Oh, I have a cheap mortgage and everything, and I have this 3-bedroom house, and I'm going to rent out rooms." And it's like, if you can afford to pay for the house by yourself, why are you renting out rooms? And it's not even like you have a detached place, like a place detached over a garage or a detached building or anything. You're renting out rooms in your house where you see these people when you wake up, when you have to go to the bathroom, you see these people. You don't have any money, extra space. You're doing it because you're broke. But it was like, okay, I accept you. I was being nice accepting you. But then you tell me after I take time off work, and you knew I was taking time off work, you're like, "Oh, I'm not ready for a relationship." And then I told you about the green card guy. It was like, he was trying to get me to move, give up my apartment, give up my job, everything, to get him citizenship. Well, he didn't tell me to give up my job, but he told me to give up my apartment so we could move in together, so it could help him get citizenship. But then once I said I wasn't a citizen, he was gone. Yeah, but that's funny how guys are like, "Give up everything you have and you can depend on me for a little bit and come move in with me, or we can get a place together." And generally, let's move in and get a place together, because I'm like, I'm not moving into some man's place, and I'm not moving in some man's place, and I don't want you to move in my place. So it's like, "Oh, we'll get a place together." And then it's like, was it when I said I wouldn't move into your place, let's get a place together? Because if we got a place together, you can't kick me out. When you decide you don't want a relationship anymore, we would have to break the lease, and I wouldn't want a place that was too expensive that I couldn't afford, because when it's over, I'm going to be like, "You need to go." Because it's like, you broke up with me probably, or I broke up with you, whatever. But I would prefer, overall, I would prefer to have the place in my name and not his name, and where I can kick him out. Because, and it's like, if you try to move in, if you're like, "Oh, let's move in together," I would get a bigger place, because I couldn't deal with you. I had to get a house to have space. Yeah, but when guys do that, when a guy's like, "Oh, it's so great and everything," yeah, because that pissed me off. But then in the end, it didn't bother me, because then when I heard about all the shit that was happening on Halloween, because I was like, it's going to be my first time out on Halloween in years, because I stopped going out after they stopped having the big party. Yeah. And I was never really a Halloween person in the first place, because I don't dress up or anything for Halloween. But the fact that he would do that, and I could have had something else to do. Who knows? I didn't have anything to do, but I could have planned something. But the one that pissed me off the most is when the guy tried to get me to give up my apartment, quit my job and everything. And he was like, move to San Jose to be with me. Yeah, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm not ready. And then there's this other guy, he lives in San Jose. He like he's still messaging me often. Because it was like the guy who was like in Fairfield. He was like, oh, yeah, I decided I'm not ready for a relationship. And it was like, that guy, he tried before and then I rejected him, but then I gave him a second chance, and then because it was like I knew you were broke in the first place, but it was like you seemed like a nice guy, I gave you a second chance. And then there's this other guy, he's nice and everything, but he's a flake because he's like, oh, let's get together, whatever, and it's like, yeah, you're cute and everything, but I don't really want a relationship with you. You have a kid. I'm not trying to be bothered with a kid. Yeah, so I don't have one, and if I did have one, I wouldn't date somebody that didn't have one, because it's like I'm gonna be like more child-centered doing stuff, and you're not, so it's like you don't want to be a father. I don't want you to be a father to my kid. My kid has one or whatever, but yeah, you got to be aware of those guys that'll love bomb you, tell you to like give up everything for them, and it's like, I was raised better than that. My mother, she's always taught me to never give up housing, job, whatever, and to always be able to provide for myself. Like, if I get married, don't buy a house that's more expensive than I can afford on my own. So when I dump his ass at some point, which will probably happen, I will still have a place to live. It's like, oh, I would hope to have a marriage last forever, but the way things are going and how these guys are just so messed up, and it's like, I'm not trying to get screwed over finding out he has a second family and like kids down the street with somebody else or whatever. So it's like, if I can't afford it by myself, I'm not getting it. I'm not dependent on you for anything, and I'm keeping a side bank account, not getting a bank account with you joining bank accounts, because I have a strong work ethic that I've always had. My grandfather, he's always been like, keep an education, go to school, learn as many skills as you can to have as many options as you can. I stay skilled, I stay in school. Even though I graduated college and everything, I've gone back a few different times, picked up a few different careers, and with those careers, I don't even have to work full time if I don't want to. And I just drop in when I feel like it, because it's like, right before I decide to go on vacation, I start showing up to my side jobs. Or if I go, like if I plan on shopping and buying a bunch of stuff, I'm like, okay, I'll go to work next week. I might show up for a few days or so. Yeah, and then to pay off that bill. Well, not really to pay off that bill, just put that money back in my savings or checking account or whatever that I already spent. But never depend on a man, because if he does you dirty and you depend on him, you're left homeless and you have nothing and you look like a fool. Yeah, never depend on a man. Have your own. You don't have to tell him you have your own. Like, a man tells you he wants a joint bank account, that's a no, because what if he quits his job, has access to that bank account, he has different financial plans than you, and you don't know about these financial plans, and he goes off and spends a bunch of money, and then he decides to dump you, you don't have shit. And who knows, he might go back to his mother's house. You may not be able to go to your mother's house or somewhere else. You need to keep your shit separate, do your thing. It's like, oh, I'm all into this love, but you do me dirty, I'm off. And then, yeah, because I believe this, you need to put at least $500 away a week to save and be ready for everything. Because it's like, I put a lot of money away. And my thing is, I put so much money away and it's like, I'm saying like 500 a week is like at the bare minimum. Because I put so much money away, because then I'm like, okay, I have this extra, and then I have money going to like different bank accounts, like saving and everything. But if something happened, and I got married and I'm like, this doesn't work. Yeah, I have money, and then I continuously have money going to separate bank accounts, because I have lump sums going here, even bigger sums over there. Then I have a portfolio with investments and stuff. No, you are not going to break me. We might break up. You didn't invest well, but yeah, I'm like all for we could have like a joint bank account. like where we put like a certain amount in and then we'll pay bills from that account or something where you can feel like, oh, we have a joint bank account where you feel like you have some access to my money. Yeah, I'll do that. I'm not going to put that much money in there. I might say I only make like $500 a week, and then I'll pay bills and stuff with that money. So then you think I'm broke in the end, and otherwise I put like $2,000 in another bank account like a week, and it's like, yeah, I'm not telling you how much money I have or how much money I make, and I don't want to file taxes with you. And if you ask any questions, it's like I owe somebody money, I owe student loans. Yeah, I'm gonna say that and tell you, oh, I'm doing stuff for charity, giving money to charity. I'm not gonna tell you where my money is. Yeah, I will pay bills, I will help and everything. I won't buy anything that's above my income, and I will save my money. So if it doesn't work out, I'm gone and I'm on to the next thing. And over you, and you might have hurt my feelings, but financially I'll be well off, and I won't really care, because it's like, marriage is cute and everything. It's like, yeah, that's cute Disney princess stuff. Yeah, but when that princess gets old and everything and has all her things, like issues and stuff, will that prince still be there? I'm looking for that prince that'll still be there when I'm like 100 and like old and wrinkly and issues and everything. I'm not looking for that prince that'll be there when I'm like 20 and I'm all thin and cute, no wrinkles and everything. I'm looking for the prince that'll be there when I'm all old and wrinkly. That's the prince I'm looking for. But these guys, like, love bombing and scamming, it's not cute. I'm not in for that. Yeah, because there's like that old guy that they were talking about on the news recently. He had this girlfriend. I think she was a lot younger than him, because he was 73. And I guess she left him a bunch of stuff if she died, because they were together for a long time or something. So she left him a bunch of stuff in case she died first. And then he goes off and kills her, and he was supposed to inherit millions of dollars, and he hired a hitman and did all this stuff to her. It's like, if you marry me in a relationship, you don't have shit to gain from me. You don't have shit to gain. I will not leave you shit. I will not leave you a life insurance policy. I will not leave you anything. That's how I will know if you love me, if you know you're not getting shit. Because everything will go to charity. Yeah, and the charities I agree with, because I'm not leaving anybody shit when I die, because that gives people reason to come after you. No, I'm not doing that. Or if I do that, I'm gonna tell you I didn't leave you shit, and then you get surprised when you get left something. Yeah, but I'm not leaving shit to anybody. My shit's pretty much all going to the church. Actually, no, because I used to say it was going to the Catholic Church, but then all that stuff came out. I don't know. Some kind of something. I haven't really thought about it, but my old place where it was going to go was the church. But you got to think about those things and everything. Yeah, just be careful. Watch out for those guys that are love bombing hard and trying to scam you to give up your life and then leave you broke with nothing, because then you give up your place. That means you need to come up with a new first, last, and security. That's like almost $15,000 because you listen to this man. He's costing you almost $15,000 for, if your apartment won't take you back, then you need to go find another one, and that could be like $15,000 or more, with a first, last, and security, plus the cleaning fees if you do have to move out, plus the moving fees and the storage fees until you find a new place, plus the hotel fees for you to have somewhere to stay. That man's costing you damn near $20,000 because you listened to him and believed that he loved you and cared about you and wanted you to go. And if you made it that far where you were moving there and then he changes his mind after a few days or whatever, he has screwed you. You have to be careful not to believe these men that are conning, scamming, and everything. So if you like, subscribe, and watch the channel and all that good stuff. Stay tuned for more fun, cool videos about different topics. and subjects we talk about on here. Bye.